G'day guys, welcome back to another Fair Income episode. In today's episode we speak about our biggest fears, some that we'll possibly tackle over the course of 2022. And we also speak about our Fair Income journeys, some of the valuable lessons that Fair Income has taught us over 2021. Hope you guys enjoy the episode. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Yeah, enjoy.
I know the word sometimes like develop and productivity can trigger you.
It used to, yeah, definitely. But
Even a month ago, it did.
month,
Yeah.
what
But-
was this?
No, just
we-
certain instances, yeah.
Now we developed, but like now, when I was looking back at the year, so much has changed from when we originally started. Just even ourselves, as I know, our own personalities. But like a month or two ago, you said, "I don't want to do I don't want to do an episode on productivity." You know, you guys just do it if you want to do one, something like that. You know, it's like I don't want to, because we had some episodes we wanted to do because a lot of people asked us how to, get the best of this life and the next, time management, how to be productive. And then you're like, I don't want to do those episodes. And then you listen to, for example, like Sharky talk about the importance of discipline. And now you're learning that when you're doing 75 hard, that discipline you do in one area relates to every other area in your life.
I think my biggest fear might be claustrophobia. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Honestly, yeah, no. But to be honest with you, I think I can mix and match.
You know, you sound like the guys on TikTok that try to make a viral comment. You know, that fake podcast.
Oh,
Did you hear about the theory
podcast.
with this?
Yeah.
Those guys, yeah.
Well, there's some
How many cuts you reckon they do in those shots?
Oh, I don't watch
Every
them,
2 words a cut.
I
Did
can't
you end up
watch it.
posting the one about Vovoti?
I told them to make the thing.
This guy's the
Still
lowest,
haven't
bro.
made it yet.
This guy's the lowest.
Anyway, what's
Me
your
or
phobia?
him?
You asked
He
the
has
question,
the-
you didn't
I
even
know.
finish the question. What's your phobia, Ali?
Oh, on the top of my head, it's bungee jumping, for sure.
Okay,
You share the same one?
No, on top of my head, like, I don't know what
Oh.
else there is
Oh, okay.
right
The
now.
snakes, scorpions, the spiders,
Bugs.
the lion.
lion. Yeah.
You scared of me?
Yeah, but
Yes, bro.
they are fears, but not as much as bungee jumping.
Ah.
That was so
I'd
bad.
rather be a gazelle now.
What about you?
Let's
Ernest?
make gazelle fashionable or something. My one? Wait, you said bungee jumping? You said
I'll
tight
change it
spaces?
now because Ali's.
No, you can't change it.
Um,
You're scared of bungee jumping.
Change it
but
to
we need something specific. Me saying claustrophobia
Yeah.
isn't really
Yeah,
like a
that's-
big
that's a
thing.
big
It's
day.
like saying, going in the middle of the ocean and just leaving me there. Everyone's gonna shit themselves in the middle of the
How
ocean.
about a shark?
Oh, you just...
Yes, actually, you know what?
Swimming with sharks.
scuba diving.
No.
Scuba
What am I? I
diving's
put
fun.
myself onto something.
No, but like, it's actually
Wait,
a fear.
swimming with sharks.
I will never swim with a shark.
That's the point.
Wait,
I
not
will
even a
never
cage?
swim with a shark.
That's a good
In a
one.
cage.
Obviously, a cage.
Nah, bro. I'll
Yeah,
shoot
Not even
myself.
that.
I'm gonna
I
make
can't faint in the water,
Nah,
bro.
that's good.
Hey,
Swimming
I'm
with
gonna
sharks.
I'm gonna say this publicly. Yeah, this summer, 100%, you guys are gonna see a
How many
video.
likes does?
How many likes are we doing? Well, how many likes do we get on a YouTube episode?
I can 150 likes
That's-
on
Nah,
this.
make
You're
it
pushing.
600, bro. What's
You're
wrong with you? Make it impossible.
He said I'm pushing.
You're pushing.
Listen, if we
150.
get 600 views, if 600 of the people end up liking it, I'll go into the Shark Tank.
I'm gonna make some fake accounts.
Not
No,
600. Hey, not
Your brother's gonna get hard. You know that.
Not 600. He's not gonna go in there. Let's do it like 100. That's 100 is good.
Say, well, I'm not.
Now he has to
Huh?
make. the
I'll
call.
do it just to make it fast 3 days.
Hey,
No, no,
250.
100.
Yeah?
Wait, would you do it for 100?
Say Wallah first, I won't do it, and then I'll do it.
No,
If he
no,
days
no.
says,
isn't
if he
too bad.
says
3 days
Wallah, I
fast
won't
is
do it,
worth
I
it.
want him to fast 3 days.
Yeah, 3 days is pretty good.
Oh, what's the conditions though?
You have to fast in summer,
Yeah,
number one.
Whoa.
Number two,
yeah, I'm down.
yeah, number two.
So I have to fast for you to hop in a Shark Tank.
3
Once you
days.
say Wallah first, and then you.
No,
do
no,
it
I'm not
because
saying
it's
Wallah
Say
first.
Wallah, I won't do it.
No, you would do
Say
it
it.
under certain conditions. But hey, straight up. Let's do 100 because we've never hit 100, have
I
we?
don't think he'll say Wallah. I don't think he'll do it anyway. So you can say Wallah.
You're chill easy. This guy's instigator.
Would you
This
do it
guy's
if someone
instigator
else
right
was with
now.
Yes. Would you do it?
I want to do it. That's the thing though.
Yeah, no way.
Biggest
Say Wallah,
area.
you would do it.
Sohail, I'm
No,
telling you, I
I'll
know
do
a
it.
spot,
Okay.
bro. I know a spot, cuz.
Aquarium.
Yeah, obviously.
Nah, you need to go. No, you need to go
but-
open. You need to go open
Now
water.
go holiday.
Open water,
We-
real
Nah,
sharks.
open water is different story, bro.
No, that's in the cage in the open water.
They
Real
don't-
sharks.
Bro, they feed them
Guys,
steaks at
this-
the aquarium. The other ones don't care about me anymore.
That's great.
You
No,
want
he's
to take me
gone.
to a place they don't feed them steaks? I wouldn't be happy. I'll take me.
I know a spot, cuz. We're going Gold Coast, inshallah. We'll do a Gold Coast trip. Maybe we'll turn it into a vlog and you can hop into that Shark Tank. Straight up, I'm telling you right now. Great Barrier Reef.
Allah.
That's
Great
scary.
Barrier
bro.
Reef.
See if everyone could survive. How's it gonna survive?
Yo, that's wild.
That's true, but
Well, that's true.
That's
The-
wild.
The greatest.
Bro, I shit myself from fish. You know fish?
Yeah, but
I can't get the fish to
I'm
eat my
scared.
feet.
You don't know what they're gonna do. They're gonna start
I'm scared of fish. Bro, you know what it is? I held one when I was younger after my dad caught it.
Yeah.
He just goes, grab it here underneath the gills. I grabbed it. Oh, like,
Yeah, what the
Yeah.
fuck? Oh, no chance,
bro, I
bro.
shit myself, man.
Okay.
120 likes done.
No, no,
Wait.
no, bro. What is this, bro?
Hey,
You're
so-
selling me for.
We're gonna make a
But you're
video.
not
So you're
Steve
doing
Irwin,
you're
though.
doing sharks. Yeah, Ali's doing sharks and bungee jumping because you're
What a
to both.
machine.
Mashallah.
Look, it's all talk right now, yeah? It's all talk.
What's yours?
What's yours? What's yours, actually?
Yeah, what's yours? You haven't said yours. He said bungee jumping.
But then I'm gonna think of something about.
That's doable though.
Yeah,
Bungee
let him
jumping.
make
Nah,
it
but
think
it's
of
your
something,
biggest
let him
fear. What
think
do you
of
want to
It's
do?
not, it's
I'll
not
think
that,
something
bro.
when he answers. In the
Wallah,
meantime.
it's not that easy.
Yeah.
Okay, I have
His dogs. Don't say dogs. That's the easiest thing on
I have
earth.
a
We can go
couple.
get you a friendly dog.
I have a couple.
Say
Nah,
sharks.
dogs is in there, top 3, 100%.
Say sharks. It's the most convenient for us,
It's not
money
shark.
wise.
Yeah,
I'm
one
not really
time.
scared of sharks.
Say wallah, you're not. So you'd go in there with us.
Oh,
Wallah,
so
I'd-
then come.
I want to go in there.
Oh,
That's
done,
what, that's
it's
what I
done,
need. I
that's
need a
fine.
reason for it right now.
You can swim.
Yeah, again, well, this just 'cause I'm this
How
guy.
dare you ask that?
That's wild. How could you?
Hey, I tried-
He puts a stigma.
He's not alone. He's not alone.
No, I'm joking.
swim inside, like all around inside the ocean, but on top.
Oh, I was
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
say it's bathtub.
I could do bathtub too. It would
Snakes?
probably be at sea alone. That'd be mine. Like on a boat, like on sea.
Yeah, but they're like deep fears. We were talking about something that you can encounter.
all that we can do.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not gonna drop you in the middle of the ocean on a hell.
Okay.
Snakes would be scary, bro.
Snakes is
Yeah.
bad. Like a big one.
How about a snake pit?
Nah, that's a different ball
Nah,
game.
what the-
No, but those ones are
Oh,
life
you
and
said
death. No, but they're life
Yeah,
and death.
I'm
though.
joking,
Like
I'm
if
joking.
someone brought a
Yeah.
snake, like there was a friendly snake, I'd hold it.
I would never.
Not even a friendly one.
Nah, snakes scare me, bro. Snakes.
Because
they're gonna-
how are you a lion, bro? Oh,
Well, lions get scared of snakes too, don't
Yeah,
they?
lions.
Oh, that's crazy.
That's the phobia.
you have
Hey,
to,
go on,
like-
go on. Go. What's your
Just like what at school, whenever they brought like the animals come over, like the reptiles.
what school did that
Us
for
could
me?
never could afford that.
He was at a petting zoo, bro.
Nah,
Nah,
never.
nah. Hey, go. So, anything come to mind?
No, the first thing that comes to mind is being on a boat out in open sea.
Mm.
Then there's dogs, and there was another one, but I lost it in the.
But something we can make a video out of.
Dogs, come on, bro.
Well, I'm actually.
Unless you're like those guys on Murray Povich show with
Yeah.
the pickle jars, we're not getting a
Because
dog.
you
yet.
haven't seen me around dogs, bro.
Yeah.
Wallah, you have not seen me around dogs. cuz.
Yeah, but now that you've stated that, you might be over exaggerating. So I don't know if I can believe the reaction.
Okay.
What's something that's definitively like there's no chance?
That I would definitely do.
Yeah, and it's a massive wild card.
Like,
Like,
think
for
about
us-
let's say swimming with sharks. Like it's
I would do that for the thrill of it, bro.
no, but I'm saying that's the level he's trying to reach
Yeah.
as a fear. It's not like I'll go pet a dog.
Yeah, like domesticated
okay, true,
animals.
true,
don't
true,
even-
true.
Like they're not
How
really
about
that
I
deep.
can me fight a gorilla?
Fight a gorilla? How are we
Yeah.
gonna get that on camera, bro?
This guy's wild. bro.
Harambe, bro.
That'd be good. That'd be good
Harambe.
content. I won't survive.
This guy just said fight a gorilla.
Yeah.
Well, how about would you go? Oh, no, you can't get in the cage of a gorilla. They won't let you do it. Imagine you say, "Oh, can I pet a gorilla, please?" Take it off, man. What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
I know people that are scared of bananas. You know that's a thing?
Yeah,
Yeah. It
I've
is.
heard that
How
as well.
about tigers? Are you scared of tigers?
No, I've been scratched by one already. I actually have.
Has he? Is that legit or is that like, oh, this is a representation?
Like, dead ass being scratched by a spider.
Yeah.
No,
Spider.
I only saw four legs.
Okay, good. Anything else to mind?
Nah, it doesn't come.
Even
Say,
for me,
well,
bungee
that's from a
jumping.
tiger.
Yeah.
Don't play games with me. That's
No,
from a
it's alright
tiger.
anyway.
What do you mean I'm eerie? How's this guy
Tiger?
telling me about an arm, bro?
Give us a story. Give
We
us
can
a
settle
story.
this. We can settle this with one. Say, wallah, you did.
That's crazy.
Game over.
That's
Game
crazy.
over.
I told you.
That's crazy. You're bad. You're
You played
bad.
the card.
Why am I bad? I just said say
Yeah.
wallah.
You know, man. I can meet bungee jumping because I know I'm actually scared of that.
Like you,
Yeah,
your
because I know
heights.
skydiving now. Because bungee jumping is technically you save yourself from death. Like
Yeah.
you jump to your death, and at the last moment, you kind of like bounce back up. And so I know in my head, I said I'll do skydiving, but not bungee jumping. So that's probably a fear I need to.
That's such a weird
I
thing.
realize I
Yeah.
have so many small little weird fears,
Mm.
but not like any like adrenaline based ones.
Mm.
You know, like for example, flies and like bees and stuff. I used to be hella scared of them. Hella scared of flies and bees.
Like a lot
Flies.
of them.
Flies and bees. Those
What's scared? Like you run away from them?
This
Is
guy's
that scared?
start
Because
running somewhere, bro.
scared means
Yeah.
like you don't even want to go near it and you're gonna run away or something like that. with
I
the
don't.
dog
I don't
or-
want it near me.
Like,
Yeah,
could
that's
you
normal. That's a fly. Like it's a bee.
those,
Yeah.
see those rooms where it's like you got to put on the suit and there's a room full of bees. Could you go in that?
Oh no. Yes. Wallah, I couldn't do that. That's a good shout.
That's
So,
a lie,
Wallahi, I
bro.
couldn't do that. Now he goes, we'll do it for the video.
No, but it's good.
No, actually,
You're
could
short
It's good that
selling
he's
this
down.
stuff, bro. I'm telling you, you're
Yeah.
short selling it hard. You're
What?
talking to me about being annoyed by something, and you're saying, "Oh, that's my biggest fear."
And then we're gonna go do the video. Yeah, it's like, oh, I'm scared. Look at me.
Do it for the views.
Sick discomfort.
Nah, bro, get
Well,
something crazy,
I
man.
have to think of it then. I have to
Yeah.
think of it because the first one that comes to my mind is the being at sea. That one I would never do that.
Would you climb Harbour Bridge?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, that's
Would you
I'm
get
not
in a
scared of
tank with octopus and squid?
Yeah.
Massive squid,
Yes.
giant squid,
How big is a squid?
megalodon. Would
Done.
you get in there with, you know what megalodon is?
Very
It's a
big.
shark.
Yeah. In.
It's caught you out. He doesn't want to do it. But
Yeah.
What
okay.
else is there?
How are you taking so long to pick something?
Now let's continue the conversation. It will come to me.
The conversation's
come.
not done until I find out what you're
Maybe
scared.
Mike
So
Tyson.
could you do that thing that Sus was saying, like being in a tight space? Is that easy?
How long are we being in the tight space for?
This guy meditates, so I think it'd be okay. It's like,
You could forget where you are.
breathe.
Oh, you know what we should do? When
Tell
he's
me.
in the tight space and he's trying to get out, we'll get a dog.
That's bad.
Look at him, he's already scared.
His upper lip is quivering.
That's bad.
Yeah. Even just thinking about it, just like
But
Makes
see,
you scared.
tight spaces, I'm not scared of it though. Like, I hate tight spaces, but it just makes me hella uncomfortable. Like,
I think a lot of these
I
make
think
you
that's what it is
uncomfortable,
though,
but
yeah.
scared, like biggest fear. We're not talking about fear, we're talking about biggest fear. It's a bit deeper. Go, have to keep going.
you know, even like those challenges you see on YouTube, right? Where there's the box and then you have to like see, like no, it's not see. You have to just like.
oh,
grab
that's a good
Yeah.
content idea.
That's even like scary, bro.
Yeah.
you have no idea.
Because it could just be a sponge and then you just go, "Ugh," like could be some insect, bro.
Yeah.
That's like kind of a feel
Hey,
uncomfortable.
that's a good content. That's a good
Yeah.
shout.
No, but it depends on who you're with. If they're scumbags, then of course you're gonna shit yourself.
Like,
But
if
if
there's a snake and it bites you,
Bro, I want to kill someone.
But
I'm
like
telling
that's actually
If you get
like a
bit
fear.
by, like, let's say it's non-venomous though.
and you become Snake Man.
Just give it. Oh.
What's
Snake
KD, KD.
Ooh.
I can't believe there's no superhero called Snake Man.
Oh, imagine a bloke who's got legs and he just does this on it. He's coming after you. What, are
It
you gonna
takes
shit
so long to
yourself
get
from
somewhere,
that?
Think
bro.
about Ant-Man.
Yeah, that's a bad one.
There's an Ant-Man.
Who the hell came up with that?
Ant-Man's actually pretty strong though. It's pretty good.
Isn't there a snake
Yeah.
woman?
He jumped
What?
in Thanos' butt.
There is. There's a snake woman.
Didn't he jump in Thanos' butt?
Bro, you know, Ant-Man.
Are you watching the Marvel movies? Because you watched Black Panther. Are you watching them from the start or something? What are you doing?
Like Marvels?
Yeah.
I know
Yeah,
he's
no.
on Marvel NFTs though, aren't you?
No, I'm not doing none of the NFTs yet.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying
Yeah.
to chill a little bit. 'Cause
Like,
I
never.
know what's going on. Bro. I think it might be just a grab money.
Snake
grab,
woman, yeah.
money grab idea.
This one. You've seen this snake woman?
Is that Snake Woman or is that
That's
the one
Medusa,
of the
bro.
Yeah.
Medusa. Yeah. That's her real name.
It's the god of something. I don't know what the hell they
And
say.
if you see her, you freeze, like you become stone.
yeah, if you
Yeah, he's looking at her eyes.
That was from a movie, wasn't it?
Percy Jackson. If you watch it.
I read the book.
No.
they're behind your head, aren't
Over
they?
there, black.
They're behind your
Somewhere.
head. Was there a topic for this episode?
Yeah.
Or was it just that?
You. No. Have you guys been doing reflections? Like when I sent the topics and stuff, were you guys thinking about it at all or not really?
Oh, that kind of reflection. I thought you
Yeah.
meant journaling or something.
Excited to think you are.
Nah, yeah.
But on like the last year and stuff.
Honestly, yes.
Because I think even COVID, you were saying you were reflecting in general, like trying to get back into fit income. You were
There's-
kind of.
there's little bits and pieces of this year that like I can recall when I need to, like, but like they don't stand out to me initially.
Mm.
So there's like, for example, I was just going back on the 75 hard, and I was like, bro, it wasn't even that difficult. Yeah, in my head I was thinking it wasn't that bad and whatever, and then I remember like I'll tell myself like, why did I ever find it a challenge in the beginning? Because now obviously it's like there's no hindsight yet until I put myself into the situation. I remember my family was sitting down eating cake on my brother's birthday, and it's like maybe day 20, day 25, and I'm in the background because I came late because we did a podcast that day, and I was doing kettlebells in the background.
While they're
I was
eating it.
doing exercises. They're all eating cake. I can't have cake
Mm.
or anything like that. And then because I didn't do an outdoor exercise as well, I got into the little side courtyard of
Yeah.
our house, and then I'm just playing soccer up and back in like a little 2-3 meters, 4 meters space.
Wait for 45 minutes.
Yeah, 45 minutes. Yeah.
That, well, I
Yeah.
respect that.
Yeah,
I don't know
honestly,
about you,
that's,
but wallah,
that's actually hard.
Yeah.
Bro, I'm telling you, there was so many little bits and pieces. Like for example, like my niece was born, they brought nice cake and food, and there's like all these sort of things. My sister decided to get creative with cooking. I wanted to try baking.
Yeah.
Why now?
Yeah, hard.
Mm.
Why? Listen, I've got question. Why did you start then?
Mm.
You know, anyways,
Yeah.
we have a conversation when I get home.
Hope she watches this.
But yeah, and then I remembered uni as well. So uni is taking up a lot of my time as well because I was doing all the work for it and stuff. And then I remember having these parts or these feelings like I was overwhelmed, which is why I took first semester off.
Mm.
Remember when I think I was telling Ali
Yeah.
just before Ramadan, bro, my head was
Spinning.
I was pissed. I lost my head at the start of the year. I don't know what was going on. Like I still can't pinpoint it,
Mm.
but something was going on with me mentally where I was just pissed consistently. Like for no reason whatsoever. I was praying, I didn't really feel nothing, and I didn't feel like, I think it was lack of discipline, and that's what I can attribute it to, because I feel like I was moving nowhere fast. Yeah. So I felt like I was on a hamster wheel. I was doing the same thing consistently every day, but for example, I wouldn't recognize what the problem was.
Mm.
So, and then after I go to myself, like Ramadan's here, let me just go head first into Ramadan. SubhanAllah, Ramadan helped everything out. It kind of it changed, for example, my sleeping patterns, made it so much easier to sleep, my eating patterns, my dietary habits. It changed my religious, bro. The religious thing was the problem. I
Mm.
wasn't praying in the masjid enough, yeah? That's
Because
what
of COVID?
and I don't think there was COVID at the time. I remember at the start of the year,
Ramadan.
Yeah.
we were open, yeah?
True.
and I wasn't praying at the masjid enough before that. So then I was like when I started going to the masjid more often because of Ramadan and Taraweeh and stuff, oh my Lord, the difference.
Mm.
I actually felt calm, and I would consider myself maybe 2 months before that wasting time, sitting down at the masjid for 5-10 minutes at a time, driving 10 minutes up, driving 10 minutes back. You know, I would feel like 30 minutes just to pray a prayer. I can take 5 minutes at home to pray, would be a little bit more of a waste of time. But that was my initial thinking. Then you don't realize when there's barakah in your time, it's a different ball game completely. But that's probably those things that I can just remember off the top of my head.
Yeah.
That-
Transition into like the whole 75-day hard challenge, and you like listening to guys like Tim Ferriss and whatnot.
Yeah.
Because the guy that I know, Sus, at the start of the year,
Yeah.
you remember the jokes about reading corners and this and that, all that kind of stuff. I'm like, and I'm hearing words like, hey, I'm watching Tim Ferriss's podcast or something like that, or I'm actively trying to change my sleeping pattern or whatnot.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, this must be. When I heard Sus doing the 75 hard challenge, I was like, Allah Mubarak, straight up. Like, this is crazy. Because I feel like Sohail, like, I'm going to say this publicly as well, yeah? I feel like you're a guy who, when he gets into things, like, you keep at it and keep going, but you have to get yourself into that type of thing. Do you know what I mean? You got to see the benefits or not. Otherwise, like, when looking from the outside, you don't really see the benefits, so you're like, and all that kind of stuff. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. I think one thing that I can attribute to that change, or those easy changes that I make in my life.
And they weren't significant, by the way. I just want to add.
No, all good.
It's
good,
not like
bro.
you're a different human being or something.
Yeah, it's just, see, the thing is, I can admit when I'm wrong.
Mhm.
And the thing is also about the good thing about being able to admit when I'm wrong is I will listen and hear people out who
Sure.
are on the opposition side, or not opposition side, though, it sounds like.
Difference of opinion.
But like someone who has a difference of opinion, I'll try to learn where they're coming from, and then I'll try and see why they think like that. And then when I do that and I give that thing a chance, I don't know, it could help me. That's how I see it, yeah? So like, for example, whenever I spoke to Ashraf about, for example, reading books or whatever it was initially last year, I think it was. And then I think you recommended me the subtle art of not giving an F, yeah? And then I said, you know what? Anything that can help. Khala, beautiful. Let's just try it out. And I read the first couple pages. I was like, so what is going on right now? Because I don't read books initially. I go, what is going on with my brain right now? Like, why am I so zoned into something? And then, like, whenever it comes to my dealings, I'm less emotional. I'm less impulsive. Like there's some sort of, like, my cognitive abilities changed, you know? Like, I've kind of gone outside my natural scope or my default scope, which I usually operate under. Like my usual operations day to day was like, how do I feel? And let me go about things by that.
Yeah.
Or through that. But then now I felt like reading a book, it kind of like hones you in on some sort of cognitive ability to just be more logical. I don't know, obviously there's probably science to this stuff, but like it kind of like it grounded me. And then, for example, like I'll be reading at work, and I won't come back and do something stupid like start an argument with a girl there about can boys and girls be friends. I always used to do that for a laugh because I used to be bored. I'm looking at this thing and I'm like, I think because you know they tell you you need a certain amount of mental stimulation in order for you to be happy with your day-to-day activities.
Very true.
I feel like I wasn't getting it because I quit social media at that time, so I wasn't really getting it from anything else. And then I didn't realize that I was kind of like doing outwardly outlandish stuff to people around me just to kind of get stimulated. And then I go, okay, so I'm gaining knowledge from books, and I was starting to develop myself, and I realized, oh wow, okay, I can use that energy in other places, you know. And then
did you actively say like I want to develop myself?
In all honesty, I
Or was
fell
it like
into
a
it.
passive thing?
In all honesty, I think I fell into it
Yeah,
because I think circumstances in life pushed me towards that direction.
for sure.
But yeah, this sounds like a therapy session for me, bro.
So, like, let's keep it going.
But yeah,
Because I know the word sometimes like develop and productivity can trigger you.
it used to. Yeah, definitely. But
Even a month ago, it did.
month.
Yeah.
What
But-
was this?
No, just
we-
certain instances, yeah.
Now we developed, but like now, when I was looking back at the year, so much has changed from when we originally started. Just even ourselves, as I know, our own personalities. But like a month or two ago, you said, "I don't want to do an episode on productivity." You know, you guys just do it if you want to do something like that. You know, it's like I don't want to, because we had some episodes we wanted to do because a lot of people asked us how to, get the best of this life and the next, time management, how to be productive. And then you're like, I don't want to do those episodes. And then you listen to, for example, like Sharky talk about the importance of discipline. And now you're learning that when you're doing 75 hard, that discipline you do in one area relates to every other area in your life. You know, you can't be a different person in different areas of your life. You're going to be the same kind of person.
Yeah.
You know?
I think. Yeah, go. Sorry.
No,
Go
go ahead. I was just gonna say, bro, hearing things from people that I like or like I look up to, for example, like Sonny Bill. Like when I heard him on what's it called, podcast on Freshly Grounded.
Yeah.
Shout out to Faisal, yeah, but
Hopefully he's watching.
we're
Well, shout out to
friends,
him.
yeah. But anyways, yeah. So after seeing him on that podcast, and he said the one thing that helped me translate into Islam and becoming a lot more like inclined religiously was he learnt it from his football days was discipline. And the one thing I lacked so much in my life, throughout my life, was discipline. Remember, even when I was playing sport initially, you know the way they tell you talent and then hard work, you need both to get to somewhere, because talent,
Can only get you so
hard
far.
work beats talent when talent fails, work hard, all that cliche stuff. And 2 weeks from now, hard work beats anyways, yeah. But anyways, yeah, so when it comes to that stuff, like I never knew that growing up. You know, eat what I want, whatever I felt like doing, I would always feel like I was in the right because I could express myself better than anybody at my age. Does that make sense? But that doesn't logically doesn't correlate to being right in general. You know, a lot of people's truths are their truths.
Was there like a moment you had to see it for yourself? Because I know sometimes, like as much as when people tell you like, hey, do this or listen to this podcast, and maybe you want to like effectively change your time and be more productive and whatnot, you feel like because it's coming from them, your ego goes like, nah, I don't want to do it type of thing, you know? Like I know like one of the boys, for example, like we've been practicing on our shot in basketball, yeah? And I know this about myself sometimes as well. Like when someone gives me advice in terms of like, hey, go down this way. Or like, let's just say like, instead of keep dribbling down the left way, go dribble right way, change up, or move your hips when you're doing this type of thing, you know? Because it's them telling me and I play with them, I competitive play with them every single day. There's some sort of like cognitive bias in terms of what I listen to and whatnot. You know, like we started recording like our pickup games. Yeah, so then we watch it back later on and just have fun. You know, and I tell one of the homies, like, you're very stiff when you play. You know, like when you're dribbling, you're very, very predictable. So like as a defender, you know when to block and when he's going to drop the ball, when he might pump fake type of thing. So it's easy to defend, you know. And he wouldn't see it. He wouldn't see it through, yeah. So then after watching the YouTube video, he goes, damn, bro, you're actually right. You know, and this effect, like was so profound that even in the gym, he started doing mobility training and all that kind of stuff. So then he can be a bit more smooth and play more silky.
Are you the same there? Because
What?
you said, like, for example, you advised him and he was like, nah, until he realized himself. Are you the same, or would you take the advice from the person? Because before you said in a competitive environment, you're like, who are you, whatever.
Yeah. See, the thing is, like, sometimes you don't know that your ego gets the better of you. So your perception is diluted a little bit. You know, it's a bit disorientated. So, like, for example, you might tell me to do something and we might be in the same field. Then I guess, like, I can be a very competitive person at sometimes, you know? So then because we're both on the same mission, like, it's like, who are you to tell me type of thing, like that type of thing. So unless sometimes in that instance, what it takes for me is to see it for myself, you know, so recording a game and seeing where I do it rather than getting it from the other person. But that isn't the case for everything, you know? Like, for example, if someone told me some sort of practical life advice, maybe I don't have to see it for myself, you know? Going back to the whole thing when I was asking you in regards to, like, Sonny Bill Williams and all that kind of stuff, was there a moment where you had to realize it for yourself? I feel like I'm interviewing you.
I wanted to go on this guy because I feel like that's a ego thing you and as I'm myself, you have to work on.
Yeah, 100%.
Because the idea where if someone gives you advice, the first thing you do is react. It's like, for example, what I had to learn is, like, for example, there's a lot of times, like, Ali's my older brother, so there's times, like, I'll be in a conversation and then I'll make a joke that's too far, or I'll do something, Ali goes, hey, stop. Then I could be like, but who are you? I'm just trying to enjoy myself. But then I'll look back and say, why is he giving it?
Yeah.
Is he trying to give it to be, like, better than me or something? It's like, he doesn't care. And a lot of times, like, your friend, you're probably in the same team, or you're actually mates, like, playing the sport. So you have to, like, take a step back. And it's like Ryan Holiday, ego is the enemy. Put your ego aside. And it's like, why is he giving the advice? 90% of the time, it's actually for a good reason.
For sure, 100%.
But that's a big thing. Where, for example, like, in the podcast, we've all had a lot of experiences where we want the best for each other. You know, I would tell Sahel, hey, you need to work on this. And then he could easily react and get cut. Or you the same, or Ali the same. You guys give to me. And we know our natural reactions.
For sure.
That's something, especially, like, when you get married, when you have kids, when you have in-laws, when you have friends, you have to work on.
100%, 100%. The thing is, when I realized that in my, like, for example, the only way, like, for example, you can only tell someone so much that this is what they need to work on and all that kind of stuff before you become a broken record, you know? And I realized that in my mate, because I know myself, like, in terms of, like, I'm not very, very self-aware, but I'm self-aware to a degree where I can recognize some of my faults, you know? So I know where my ego is at place. So when I'm watching him, I know it's his ego talking, like, in terms of, like, he won't listen in terms of him changing up the way that he plays and all that kind of stuff, because there's this ego at place. The only reason I can advise him in that sense is because I know I've been in that similar position where, like, someone's trying to tell me to do something for my betterment, that I won't do it. Because I will do it, but it takes a bit more for me to listen to it, because there's this barrier, and that barrier being, like, the actual ego, you know? And once you actually self-assess that, on a greater scale, like, for example, you take it out of sport. Sport teaches you a lot of, like, your relationships with people outside of that, you know? Like you said, you start to implement that on a daily basis, you know? Like, my relationship with my brother, for example, little things like that. Like, me and him might clash heads and all that kind of stuff, and I might say, that's my brother, blah, blah, blah. But why are we clashing heads on the smallest things? You know, like, he might tell me to go get the groceries out of the car. It's like, nigga, who are you telling? Like, that type of thing, you know?
Bleep that out. I don't support that word. Carry on.
I'll say it. But anyway,
Going back to, like, the fair dinkum thing, because there's probably a lot of lessons and stuff like that. I've learned personally, like, we all have different personalities.
Yeah.
And throughout the year, I've maybe, like, a lot of the time at the start, I did the same thing for everyone. And obviously that doesn't work. You know, everyone's changing. Some people are busy with uni, work, whatever. And I kind of had to figure out how to make it work for each person. But I remember, like, the thing about advice, Dale Carnegie says, don't give advice unless you asked for it. You know, like, don't go giving your opinion to someone when he didn't ask for it. And that's something where it's like, you realize a lot, even here, like, you might annoy me, and then it's like, everyone's like, hey, go tell Legendary. Then I give it 2 days and you move past it. Because it's that thing where it's like Galileo says, you can't teach a man anything, you can only help him find it within himself. And that's every single time we're so health. I didn't teach him discipline. I didn't teach him. I didn't tell him what happened in the book. I just said, hey, here's this. Or he started watching some random video on YouTube, and then he learned about discipline, and boom.
Yeah,
you just have to help them find that.
For sure.
And that's where it's like, I think fair dinkum, that's one of the major things that's taught me, because you have the knowledge in your head and you had the life experience that the person's about to have. So you want to make the journey easy for them. Yeah. Like, hey, just do this and it'll work out for you. Just do it for a month or whatever. And they just don't take it. And you do 3 months of trying to convince them, when instead you could have taken, like, another route and it takes 6 weeks.
Yeah, easy. I think if you've ever worked in sales, you know that you can never sell to somebody you're trying to sell to.
Mm.
It's the truth. Like if
Huh?
you
Wait.
you can never sell to somebody you're trying to sell to. So if you outwardly express that kind of desperation, not even beyond the desperation, like they can sniff it on you that you're just trying to basically get
Yeah.
what. And the thing is with giving advice, a lot of people can easily misconstrue it for something else. For like, oh yeah, this guy listened to me. What did I tell you?
Mm.
Yeah, like you know that. What did I tell you? Or I told you so. Afterwards, that's worse than actually never learning the lesson to some people.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? So for me, whenever I'm in a situation and I hear, or I used to hear, so obviously now I break it down because a couple of experiences with people that I've like my loved ones, like I've had experiences with them where like they've given me either advice or they've told me to do something or they've come from a place of like they care about me and they told me something, and I'll just look at them and go, who do you think you are? Like, you're gonna come talk to me? And then I would kind of like, you know what I do? I usually like attack.
Yeah.
Like I used to like, because I was 22, 21, whatever it was, I used to basically attack as good as I can at like low blows. Like I used to give them very good low blows, and then they'd look at me like, bro, what is wrong with this kid? Like, why are you losing? And I noticed that like my relationships around me with people that I actually genuinely rate were crumbling, and I'm just like, it can't be me. It can't be me. It can't be me. And then I'm hearing 5 people tell me, dude, it's you. Like 5 people that are not biased at all.
Yeah.
Like they have loyalties on both sides, and I'm just like, oh damn, okay.
Like you're looking external, like for the excuse or the reasons not for things not going in your life.
Exactly.
Yeah, I was doing the exact same. Like a lot of these things, like even with like for example, little things like social media, Abdul and I will be dealing with like Mahad as well, but mostly us two. Like I would never say it because I'm not that person, but I'll think to myself externally, thinking like there's other reasons to it. It's not me. Like I'm not putting enough. Like the reason was never me not putting enough effort. It was always like some other reason on the other boys. It's like only now I'm starting to realize that I'm like, hang on, we do want to maybe get someone in sometime in the future for social media, but why aren't I putting 110% right now? Like why am I trying to blame the other person working with me? He's not doing enough. I should be leading by example at least. Like that's absolute minimum.
But see how like that life experience you wouldn't have gotten without Fed income.
100%.
There are so many little things that I didn't even realize that you get. It's like regardless of the podcast, it's all the outs. Like podcast is the easy part, the 1 hour, whatever. You chat to a guest, you organize it. But there's so much behind the scenes, especially because we want to expand and stuff like that. There's so much behind the scenes life lessons. Like, there's no other way I could have got it.
Yeah.
There is no other way, and it's like subhanallah, you know. Now you look back and you're like, man, imagine what the next 1 or 2 years could do, you know.
Yeah, bro. I think it was Tony Robbins that said it. Like you can't learn. Yeah, I know you're giggling. Yeah, oh, Tony Robbins. Anyways,
Crazy
yeah.
these names that he's dropping right now.
Yeah, no, but I think Tony Robbins said it. It goes that past a certain point in your life, you only learn from trauma, or you only learn from experiences. You know, like it can never just be like, it can never just be because you're learning it. There has to be an event or a situation that changes your perspective on things. So, and the more and more you close yourself off to those types of experiences and events, I think the less growth you get. You know, or that's just basically from my life what I've learned. Like the more like coddled or cradled or like I've kept myself away from things, it's not really a way to live because you never learn, nothing changes. There's no friction, you know? You can't make fire without friction. So like for me, it's like to grow as a human being, which I want to get better as a human. I want to get better as Sahil. The best way to do it is to be going through things and to be basically problem solving.
Is the podcast one of the main, like, this venture, this side hustle, whatever you want to call it, is one of the main areas of friction that gives you growth? Or is there other areas in your life as well? Is it like 50-50?
Yeah, it's very, very big. I'd say a lot of friction comes from dealing with humans. A lot of it. So, and you don't even realize it because it's basically just talking. It's just basically being like in communication with another person. You're thinking it's just normal, you know, whatever comes out my mouth, it's okay. But there's a lot more to it. There's the other person's worldview and his experiences and where you're trying to get to from what you're saying and
What he's currently dealing with as well.
Yeah.
exactly, bro. Sorry, bro.
No, I was just gonna say, even his response to like what you say, even though you're saying it with like good intentions, you want the best for the guy, but he could be on the defense. It's like, why are you
Mm.
saying that to me?
Exactly.
And thinks you know you got to explain yourself and
And yeah, sorry.
I was gonna say something. Another big thing that's happened this year. Obviously, Ashraf, you got a full-time job. Yeah, how's that been in that transition from whatever?
Yeah, when you touched on the communication with people,
Yeah.
that was easily my biggest takeaway with Fed Income. You know, I
Okay.
touched on the full-time job, life, which is a bit different now. But looking back at the last year, what I've learned in the podcast is used in outside life. Like, for example, I'm a big talker. I've always been, and I thought there's no issue with talking. You can just talk your ass out when you're with your mates, whatever, and you just chat all day. But then you kind of realize, like, I kind of learned the skill to listen and not interrupt. Like, there's times when I'm talking and then I'll be like, and then I can kind of withhold myself. And like on my 5-year goals, one of the big things always was like, talk less, listen more, or think before you talk. And my dad, every single year of my life, said, think before you talk. I'll say something stupid. He goes, did you think before that? I said, nah. And I just, like, it's a double-edged sword. It's strength sometimes and it's a weakness. But
True.
the podcast taught me gave me the opportunity to kind of like think before I talk, because I have to be more conscious of what I say. And also that skill to just listen. And there's no other way I would have got it. And it's like, it's actually a valuable lesson. You kind of learn with people how to word things, like with you or even with a guest. It's a very interesting thing, man.
Especially like with the guests, like, how we speak about articulation a lot of the times, yeah? And then you wonder, like, how are guys like Jordan Peterson or like, I don't know, Mohammed Hijab, when they're arguing or debating with people, how are they so articulate, And there's an art to it, like that science where it's their ability to synthesize, like, first of all, understand all the information they're getting within the other person, and then in that same moment synthesize it by listening and then creating a new argument that they continue the dialogue, and it isn't easy, do you know what I mean? Because usually when the other person is speaking, you're thinking about what to say next, like normally. That's just the natural instinct,
Yeah.
but you miss so much information by just in that 2 seconds actually listening to what they say, and then not only that, then there's also the communication, the emotional intelligence side of it all, because you might have missed information of what they've said, that they might feel like this guy's not listening to me. So that extra second where you didn't think about what you're saying could have made that conversation a bit warmer. You get what I mean, type of thing. It's a big thing.
I wanted to also touch on how you guys coped with doing something in the community, because a lot of people have started things and Allah grant them success, but like we've been pretty consistent for like 2 years now, and it's kind of known. Like whenever you see people, it's like Fed Income or like the people we know, or they know kind of a lot about our personal life. Like we haven't seen a guy in 2 years, but he knows everything I've been saying for the last 2 years because he listens to me once a week. So it's a bit different. Like, how do you guys cope with that, even with your friends, and then like your acquaintances? I'll kind of say, like that feeling like they say, I listen to the podcast, they know everything about you, just from listening all day. Assume they know.
We'll come back to the work thing because I'm curious about that. Did you guys have something immediate? I know you, Ali, you've spoken about it, like when you're bumping into your friends in different social
so
settings.
like some I'm still trying to catch up with everyone. It takes time because with work and stuff.
Yeah.
So, but some of the
Famous,
people,
That's crazy.
some of the people I've met up with, obviously, like they're bigging up the podcast. They're like very obviously they want the best for you and stuff. But it's still very strange to me when they say like, "Oh, it's like I'm loving the podcast, man. Your episodes are good. This that." And for me, it's just like it's still strange because I still think of myself as like a nobody. Because like,
Lutfa, yeah?
not for hopeless, huh? But yeah, so like that's why it's so strange for me. Like one of the things I've been dealing with the podcast from this, where it's like it's kind of like the sense of self-belief, like actually thinking like you can make a difference, like you can make a change. Because like obviously you can compare yourself to whoever's on top of the game in that field, like the Joe Rogans of the world and stuff. But it obviously takes time and obviously practice to get better at the craft, and also having a support team. So even listening back to like the Bilal Ali episode, that helped a lot, where it's like he's identified his support team and understanding like those opinions matter the most, and whatever else like other people say, even like it's good, take it on obviously, but if it's negative or it's questionable, then like don't take it. Don't think too much about what others say about this and that. So that's really like what's helped me a lot, not just from like a few weeks ago for that podcast, but hearing that other people go through it, like Ali Abdel as well, going through imposter syndrome, Bilal going through imposter syndrome.
Yeah, I feel you.
Like it's just a normal thing. Like I'm not the only person going through it. Like it's mostly more of that than the public speaking itself.
Okay.
So it's just like actually believing in yourself, believing you can actually, run a podcast, interview people and that.
How
meet
about
people.
like, because we get it a lot, like people's perceptions of it. Like when someone gives you advice, like the other day, someone would say, "Hey, why don't you do this in an episode? Why don't you do that? You should do this. This is really bad." And X, Y, and Z. Like those kind of confrontations.
Yeah, like I'm not a big reactive person with that, but then internally, I'm reacting. I'm thinking, why is this guy saying this to me?
Yeah.
And I start like, sometimes you can even think like, why is he thinking like that? How could he this that? But then I have to give it time. Where it's like I have to break it down. I can't think of a perfect example, but it's just, I think sometimes you have to give it time and actually think about their perspective, their point of view. But like the perception thing, like you have to take it with a grain of salt pretty much, because even if it is positive, you don't want to get too G'd up as well, because maybe it's not even a big thing where they're saying, oh, you're doing this and that, but it's like, it's not that big, but in their world it is.
And vice versa. Like if it's negative, then you don't
Exactly.
Too serious.
too serious.
So that's why the whole idea of the like having the support team or your support team you identify is actually very important.
I avoid conversations completely.
Same.
Like whenever it comes to like somebody talking to me about something, I don't want my intentions to be blurred. Like I told you, I struggle a lot with dealing with my intentions for this podcast. So what I'll do is I'd kind of go, you listen to it, mad sick. Like there was this one guy that was at this is just like a quick thing. Like I saw him at that place I was telling you is what's that called? The place with all the crates and stuff. The food
the
truck
burger
place. The
Yeah.
food truck place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Graceland.
Graceland.
Yeah.
Graceland.
You end
So
up going.
yeah, I went,
Say
bro.
it again.
It's right next to my house. 5 minutes.
Okay.
Hello, we can go one day. He's come pick me up.
Inshallah.
I'm
take
sad.
me
now.
out.
I'm joking.
Wine and dine me. But anyways, I went to Graceland and there was a brother there working security. Saw me. I have no clue who he is. This is the first time I met this guy, seen this guy, whatever. He goes, I know you from somewhere. I looked at him and I'm like, yeah, I know. Jason Momoa, yeah. And he goes, no, he goes, so I go, is it the podcast? He goes, yeah. I go, no.
That's awkward to say though, because if you say imagine you go the podcast, he goes, oh, nah, I saw you at that indoor soccer tournament.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't feel like, nah, that's good too. Because but I'm like, bro, it's gonna be like 6 minutes before I get inside the Discord to figure it out. But I'm just like, it's the podcast, bro. Yeah, bang, knuckle touched here, and then I go, thanks for listening, and I just walked off. Yeah, but in my head, I'm like, I don't like entertaining convos past that. Somebody asked me like intricate details about the thing. I'm like, yeah, look, I love just if you got topic suggestions for me, bet.
That's as far as you go, yeah?
If I've said something wrong on a podcast and somebody wants to talk to me, it depends on who the person is.
email me.
No, I was gonna say, like, if I rate your opinion and you're like my brother or it's one of you guys telling me what's going on, I'm like, okay, I'll listen. Yeah. But if it's somebody else, because there's a comment section. There's a comment section.
If you're not using
You
it, we
rate
don't
it, you
care.
don't rate it,
Yeah.
leave it on the internet. I don't want to read it.
That's Dave Chappelle. Yeah.
I don't want to.
Straight facts though, man.
Like me, like if somebody meets me in real life, it's not it's not the same situation. It's not the same scenario.
And the more you entertain those conversations as well, you lose yourself to a degree in that process. You know, you start thinking, but what did that security guard say? Or what did this person say? And then you become this character, or this Sohail that was originally Sohail from this area, blah, 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 does this and all that kind of stuff. Becomes a combination of the security guard, this comment, blah, 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 Gary X2432, that type of thing. You know? And you don't want that.
Yeah.
We love
I think for me, it's just as simple as like, I try not to entertain the small talk too much. Because I think I'm going to touch on it next.
So you get it often then?
No. It's like even when, like, for example, yesterday I went Juma, and I'm the type of guy that just gives salams, keep walking, you know?
Sure.
Salams.
No.
I'm just saying, like, I just say hello and then I just keep walking, you know? And then I think Fair Dinkum's taught me about like quality friendships, because how much time, like, I remember when I was telling you guys about the sister from Perth who had a podcast. She goes, hey, you know, I see you guys. I'm like, yeah, we meet up like twice a week, you know, sometimes 3 times. She goes, that much? We just meet up once a week and do a recording. I'm like, and it actually doubles the amount, if not 3 times. It's a big commitment we have to do.
Yeah.
So we don't have as much time, as you said, to go see our friends and stuff. So you kind of value certain relationships and try to just keep them strong, because you can't see everyone, you know, as we all know. So I think that's what.
And if you do, oh my lord, how crazy your schedule is, bro. Like the past 2 weeks, obviously, because I've been trying to like catch up with everybody. I didn't realize how much time I wasted. Just obviously, it's not wasted time. If I wanted to see you, I wanted to see you. I'm happy to see you guys. But it's like how much time was taken away from those weeks for me to do things that I would deem productive or I would deem were gonna be important for the future Sahel to be like prospering. Yeah.
True.
So whether it's like gym is perfect for one reason only. I knock off two things at once.
Now you learn.
You know.
Gym for me is social, not physical.
Do you know
That's
what I
why,
mean?
yeah.
So I go there, smash out my exercises, and I leave. Feel good
Mm.
because it's actually a mad high, you know, this social
is.
and
It's
physical.
amazing. Wallah.
But and then I realized, but bro, you're at the gym for an hour and 10, an hour and 20, you know, and then you're gonna go meet up with somebody else. Like,
Yeah, it's a bit much.
think about it. If you're awake for 16 hours in a day, you've already wasted like 4 hours, 5 hours of your day. Because a conversation, if somebody asks to go out with you one to one, it's gonna be 3-4 hour thing.
100%.
It's not a 1 hour thing. Hey, cuz, listen.
Mm.
Next, you know,
Yeah.
like someone's coming here and about 2 hours to sit in that seat that
Habit
you're in.
stacking.
Imagine you get two mates same time, different
Two mates.
tables.
Or you go to the cafe next door.
And you start making them
Hey,
friends.
Oh my
what
God,
about you
imagine
with
that.
your friends? Because I think you're a bit more, like we were talking about it last time, you're a bit more social where you kind of hear people and talk to people about the podcast, like maybe when you're playing ball or stuff. Like you've had more
Yeah.
stories and encounters than all of us.
Yeah.
And it's like,
I probably don't entertain it. Like, I do the exact same thing you guys do in terms of the entertaining things. Because
and
first,
can you break down why? So people in the audience are like, oh, these guys think they're top dog because they don't entertain it. It's just like,
no, because I honestly feel the conversation is very, very awkward. Like, I don't know what to say. Like, for example,
Yeah.
what I say on a podcast is what I said, first of all. And secondly, like, I don't know, I'm just listening to you for 5 minutes, have a rant or something about something that, like Sohail said, literally, like, you can put it in the comment section to that degree. And then also at the same time, like, when we do get compliments, I'm also awkward with taking the compliments type of thing. Like, how do it, like, thank you,
On the
you
same-
too, like,
yeah.
that type of thing. It's like,
It's like, oh, imagine some guy goes, you're tall. Oh, no, you're taller. You're like 5'5".
literally. But maybe like, yeah, I don't entertain it. Well, I don't entertain it.
you
And
get it quite a bit. Like, is there ever an encounter where it's like someone actually said, hey, why are you even doing a podcast? Or something where it's like, you should be doing this, and that actually like made you reflect for a week, or, you know, like throughout the whole year, because there's been a lot.
you know what the thing that I've realized mostly, sometimes now people know me more than before to a degree. It sounds weird when it comes off like that.
obviously.
It's
understandable,
not
yeah.
weird, yeah.
But like, for example, there's this ball competition happening on the 28th, yeah, and then after we got invited to like run a competition, create our own team for the competition, yeah, and I knew a couple of boys already on the team, but we don't know each other like that type of thing. Like, I know them off social media, I've seen them around, blah blah, that type of thing.
You need a shooter?
Huh?
You need a shooter?
Am I a shooter?
No, you need a shooter.
No, we'll get you. Thank
Yeah,
you.
you're lucky you can't afford me anyway.
We need
Carry on.
ankles.
Wearing a soccer jersey, asking about basketball.
I said shooter, I didn't say well. I'm shooting.
Now, one of the boys, because obviously at the start, like, respectfully, sportsmanship, you're just giving salams to everyone, like, yo, what's up? I don't even know who's on my team type of thing, 3 of them, straight up, you know? And one of them, I said, yo, salams, my name's Abdulli, boom, you know?
What a mad team.
And then after he goes, oh, I already know you Feddingham. He just says, I know you Feddingham, you know? And then 3 of the other people on the team, they're all from the same area, Feddingham. So, like, I've gotten used to the fact that,
Are you
like,
wearing the hoodie?
no.
Like, yeah.
I'm not a basketball man. What do you mean? I've got the guns out.
What is that?
Nice,
Booty
nice.
Miller.
RYT jersey.
He's got the tag on his forehead like the jail FD.
Hey, yeah.
How
So
did you know?
That's the thing. But then also that I have to get used that what I realize is like now I have to control like my emotions and my actions to a degree. I realize now people to a degree not know me, but like associate me with the brand of fair income. So now I have to just be not appropriate in public, but I just got to be a bit more calculated.
I
know?
realized the same thing.
You know, you can't just do that and just be like a random dickhead on the thing in the streets.
Because if not, they're gonna be like that guy.
You
From
know?
that guy from Fair Dinkum is X, Y, and Z.
X, Y, and Z, and then they
Yeah.
associate that and blah, blah. But also another thing as well is people also, the funny thing is they associate a certain moment, you know, like I've realized people that only might watch a clip or might see the snippets on Instagram or YouTube or something like that. And then they associate you with that moment and then they go, oh, but I didn't know you were like that. Or like, or they say, they take like that little snippet as the whole episode, you know, 'cause sometimes obviously for marketing aspects, we might leave like a bit of the snippets and like there's a catchy moment or
Yeah,
something
half-answered.
funny, half answer thing. And they take that as complete context
Yeah.
and they associate that with that, you know. Now I've learnt myself like, this guy hasn't watched the full episode, just allow it.
Even when we met Teddy the other day,
Yeah.
nothing like his videos.
Yeah.
Bro,
Sure,
even before that, I had no problem with him.
Mm.
I love, bro. if you're expressing something passionately, which is I like to say it in an angry manner, but I say passionately. Yeah, if you're, I don't care if it's funny, mad content. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but completely like he's not yelling at the waiter going, you can't change my mind, you know. He's not saying that.
Yeah.
He's like sitting there, he's having a nice conversation with us, you know, like everything's being developed on.
Yeah.
He's a lot more intellectual when he's speaking and whatever. And bro, you're sitting there and you're going, bro, like what don't we know about the world, you
True.
know?
And even like as something as basic as like one of the first things he said was like, when I see people, I don't like to have my phone on me. Like, so he just won't have his phone or he'd like pack it away. And the etiquette of like, we're there for 3 hours, he's not just pulling out his phone or even keeping his phone here. And it's like, that's something where you kind of see with people, you know, it's like addicted to the phone and stuff like that, you know?
Definitely, bro.
that's something.
Definitely.
Go back to people thinking they know you. Because there's probably been a lot of times where you, for example, you might give your opinion on something, someone goes, you know, what's
You kn-
Suhail doing, X, Y, and Z.
You know, the thing is, yeah, you know what I love hearing? I don't love hearing the people who don't know me talk about the podcast. For
Yeah,
one reason only. It's not and I know this 100%, it's not an accurate representation of what's going on. I'll ask people like my sister or a couple of my other mates who aren't on the podcast.
Do they listen
Yeah.
consistently?
Some of them
Okay.
do, and they're like I have a mate that just recently, like I spoke to him, I had a kick back with him, and he's like, you know, it feels like I haven't seen you for. He goes, I haven't seen you for ages, but it feels like I've seen you every week for the past 10 weeks.
You like that comment?
The only reason why I like it is for
Yeah.
one reason is
Yeah.
because he goes, bro, it's like we're having a conversation ourselves.
Teddy said the same thing.
You
I like
know?
that comment.
Yeah.
And the reason he says this is because he knows what it's like to have a conversation with me off podcast and on podcast.
Yeah.
And he knows that with the way I speak doesn't change. I'm still the same person.
Good.
Yeah.
That's good to know, though.
And for me, when it comes to the one thing that I didn't want this situation to this podcast to do was to adjust me in a negative manner. Like, so I became a complete sellout version of whatever, whatever's gonna end up paying the bills in the future. You know what I mean? So for me, it's like, okay, I'm like, do I sound stupid on the podcast? Have I said anything wrong? I remember specifically that part of the marriage episode. I go to my sister, go watch it and tell me what you think. She listens to it, she goes, what the hell do people have a problem with this about? You know?
Yeah.
And I've spoken to guys who have sisters who are single wives.
Yeah.
And he's like, you hit the nail on the head. I don't know what they're talking about.
For sure.
How you going to force somebody to do something?
And also, it's tough when it's someone's opinion.
Yeah.
Because everyone has a right to have an opinion. And if you disagree, like, you really have to bite the lip. You can't say anything. Because there's so many things, like, for example, someone have an opinion on something and you completely disagree. And there's some things you should change their opinion. Most things you can't. You know?
100%.
Maybe they had experiences with a Lebanese person, or a guy with a beard, or a guy with the same voice as me, or maybe you had an experience with me in particular that you weren't too fond of, and you already have this preconceived notion of what's going on. And then so that's why I don't go back and forth with this stuff.
Yeah.
But the one thing I don't understand is why it's such a. You know what? In all honesty, I think I've been guilty of doing it in my own life.
Most
myself.
times it is, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I can understand where you're coming from.
You been
So-
in the comment section or something?
But the thing is, no, I don't. No,
You
never,
replied,
never been in the concept. The only thing is, if I ever have the opportunity to let a dad joke go, I do.
Yeah.
I'll get my life up. But so when it comes to those things,
Yeah.
I can admit that we all do that. We all have that. You know, like we seen the little clip and this guy's. By the way, we have to talk about LeBron James and that clip he's put up on TikTok. Yeah, about me saying LeBron was done. We have to talk about it because there's a certain pundit that agrees with me and he's wholeheartedly right now is doing his janazah for LeBron James.
Who, Charles?
Well, yeah, Stephen A. Smith. We'll keep going.
I didn't
he's
rate
the-
Stephen A. Smith anymore.
It's too blasphemous.
Yeah.
He's the biggest, bro. He's
Nah,
the
but
biggest
he's-
one.
he's
honestly.
Stephen A's a sellout, first of all.
He just makes a lot of outrageous calls. So
Bro.
his outrageous call doesn't mean it's evidence.
Listen to what I'm saying. He, word for word, bar for bar, copied exactly what I said on that podcast. I
Maybe he
said,
went
this
viral
guy's a
and so-
fairy, come on, bro.
Hey, shall we
100%.
We'll do a ballet now, joking.
I'm telling you, I was watching First Take, and then he put on like sad music or something, and he's like, I'm here to talk about LeBron James.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay.
Was this because of the recent injury and how he hasn't been playing?
Yeah, he's like, I'm sorry to say it, guys, but he is finished. And I'm
Yeah.
like,
Nah, he's a sellout.
Talk
Nice,
to me.
I don't- I
Good to
talk
hear.
to me.
I don't trust the
Yeah.
guy. I don't trust the guy that got rid of Max Kellerman off his own show, bro.
Yeah.
Can't take him
He didn't
seriously.
get rid of him. He
He
got his own
rid of
show.
him. He got rid of him.
Max got his own show, didn't
What do
he?
you think?
Really?
Yeah, and he admitted it.
Bro, Max Kellerman, bro, Eagle Dollar, come on, bro.
That's
You
one
wanna
of the
talk
most
about
le-
outrageous calls.
That's the
That's
most
why-
legendary take in the world, bro.
Yeah. Hey, back to it. Yeah.
I was gonna say something in regards to the thing about, but I lost it. But
You know, a big thing I was thinking about yesterday, it's like, okay, we've been doing fair dinkum for like 2 years. Obviously, we haven't made any money or anything from it, but it's like, it's the first time you kind of have to put so much effort, like 2 nights a week, time, energy in a venture where you know you're not getting paid. Because how normal is that for us to actually like put time into work? It's like, yep, make $20 an hour, make 25, make 30. My money's coming in. It's like, like this week, Monday, Thursday, we invested money, energy. Now we're here Saturday. It's 3 days this week. You know, probably gonna have a meeting tomorrow night. It's like 3-4 times. If we work those hours, someone will make hundreds of dollars.
true,
But
true.
obviously, it's not like a thing where we're getting paid back, inshallah, like by benefiting people or something like that, getting guests on there benefit people. But it's interesting, like, to be able to do something for so long and the money doesn't even like come to you. Like, you're not even thinking, when am I going to make money? I think the first couple months were like, we want to get more numbers and more numbers. And then now we've hit a stage where it's like, who cares about the numbers? Like, we hit a stage, maybe because it's been like just over 2 years or a year consistently. It's like, won the journey.
Yeah,
What's
man.
that thing you were saying? Not the journey, not the
Journey, not
destination.
the destination, bro.
And it's like, we said we can wait 2, 3, 4 years until we hit that numbers that we wanted, but we're not chasing it anymore.
No,
And
no.
2 months ago, I was kind of caring, like, I'll check every day, hey, this episode's not doing the best.
It's not a
whatever.
conversation anymore as well.
Yeah.
Especially COVID, like as in maybe we weren't getting the numbers we were getting even before like lockdown
Mm.
and stuff because
Yeah.
not everyone's listening to podcasts. It's normal.
I just
Mm.
can't.
We're not that interesting, bro. Not every week if we're locked down, bro. What are we
True.
gonna learn every week, man?
Yeah.
Not only
True.
that, on top of that, what experiences do we have to tell
Yeah.
if we're just doing the same thing? I gave you an
In-house.
opinion last week,
Yeah.
and then we're talking about a pretty similar topic.
Mm.
We're gonna have the same opinion, obviously.
Yeah.
Mm.
So for me, when it was like, okay, we get to get guests in now, I'm like, first thing I was thinking about was getting the numbers back up, and then I was like, wait a second, yeah.
Mm.
I'm like, you're gonna be talking to people who are experts in their fields.
Mm.
There's knowledge to be picked from here, you know. There's things I can gather that people can't gather themselves.
Mm.
So, like for example, Almir talking about. Oh, I already dropped it. Oh,
It's
it-
coming-
it-
it's coming
it
out.
would have
It's
been
coming
dropped
out.
anyways. Yeah, but Almir would have spoken about all those little bits and pieces about financing and investing and stuff like that. And now I've kind of like taken that on board, and I've gone, you know what? Like whenever I have a conversation with somebody else about investing, I've kind of got like a leg to stand on because I've kind of learned something
The
from this.
knowledge there. Yeah.
Like and
So you got a bit of financial literacy.
yeah, I got you know what I'm saying?
I love
Speak
that.
4 language. You know, I'm
Yeah, I got a question.
polyglot.
Yeah. I got a question. So, you know how you said some skills that you've learned on this journey is like communication skills. What are like some other skills that you've learned? Because I know, like for example, like I started off here, like with me, like the whole editing process. You know, staying consistent to the whole editing thing. Also trying to expand your creative scope as well is another thing. You know what I mean? Rather than doing the same simple ideas
Mm.
every single time. So what are some other things that you guys learned?
On that creative, like for example, there's different types of creativity. And me growing up, I sucked at art, sucked at painting. And art class was pretty much the only place we thought we could be creative. And that's like when you made the comment the other night. You're like, I'm creative and you're logical. Like right side or left side of the brain. You
Yeah.
said that and I'm like, okay. But then I realized like even for me, for example, you have to be creative in your own way. But this is, Fair Dinkum was the only time that I kind of learned that. Like for example, the extra content ideas, some of the lists and some of the like the topics that I thought of, the videos we could do, I'm like, man, this is actually creative. Like I told some of you guys, like, man, I didn't even think of this. And that's where I realized like there's different types of creativity,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
you wouldn't have had that opportunity without Fair Dinkum. And then now I actually believe I am creative, just in a different area. If you give me a book and say paint, it's going to be a garbage, you know? If you give me a pencil, I'm going to draw a stick figure. And there's like certain things like maybe clothing for you, designs. You do that, that's your creative aspect. But I'm saying like for me, it's like another area. And that's when the first time I actually like had belief because there was like evidence towards it.
And you can learn it as well. Like take this guy for example, yeah. Like his first video that like, you know, those extra videos and stuff that he made, the editing and stuff, hella simple, you know, because we'd watch it together, you know what I mean? And then as he went along, and he made like second drafts, and then he made a third video or fourth video. You can see the expansion in terms of his creativity. You know, from the angles he was shooting his videos to the like little thing, not to toot your own horn, but it's a thing
You're
you can.
tooting it for him, so.
No, it's one of the things, but it's a development. I know you're gonna get better over time, so it's not like
No, but listen, when I say things, it's not a definitive statement.
Like
You
what?
should know that. Like me saying I'm more creative and he's more logical.
Oh yeah.
Because I've had situations where I'm logical too.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily what I'm saying, but I'm saying default-wise, our settings, they mesh.
But see how like you said that, but I at least like in my head I'm like obviously like that. I still believed in myself like nah, I'm creative in this way. Because if not, a year ago I would have agreed, yep, that's who I am. Do you get it? But now it's like because I've had some experience where I've been creative, it's like actually I am. Just in a different way to you.
I don't mean to box anyone into anything. I'm telling you that. That's not where I came from.
I'll never be boxed. I can't be, you know.
And the great thing about like this platform, like you've never like I've tried. You've never tried like video editing or whatever until now. It's like okay, and you can actually see what you're capable of. Because a lot of things we don't know what we're capable of until we try it for the first few times. Obviously, first time's not going to be the best, but then it's like you pick up little things from like watching random videos to learn video editing. It's like whoa, it's actually that simple. Like there's even I was gonna say there's even a video I made. I showed you like the challenge. I haven't showed you boys yet.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Hal and Welly, which I'll send it to you guys. Because like to be honest, it was a while ago, and I was a bit like I was questioning like if it's good and stuff, and then I sent it. I showed Ashraf. I showed Ahmed, and they're like, "Yeah, it's actually sick."
Way better than mine, honestly. There's so many flaws in
but
mine.
It took me a while to actually like consider it being good.
Yeah.
Because it's like myself talking. I'm looking at myself vlogging or like it's like what the hell? It's like who's this bloke?
I like
you also have to test yourself with the like perfectionist mindset.
Yeah.
Because
100%.
because you're watching Ali record a video and it takes like a 30-second video took 45 minutes because you keep thinking that again.
Yeah.
You know.
All right, thank you guys for watching this week's episode. Remember to subscribe to our channel. There's going to be a lot of great episodes and content this year, inshallah. So we don't want you guys missing out. We'll see you in the next one.